Yo, what's going on? And welcome back to another tips and tricks guide video. Uh, in this series, I go through some of the legends and other things, and I talk about what I know about them and give you guys some insight into some of the legends. More specifically, recently, it's been legends that I've been playing. Started with, Season 2, as I call it, since I restarted doing this this year, 2024. I did Watson, where I covered that one of her perks was broken, and was giving you the old Alt Excel charge faster perk. That's since been patched, so obviously I made a note of that in that video. Then we covered crypto, and the crypto one was quite not successful, but there was a fair amount of people who watched that video and was like, "Oh, I didn't realize you could do this with crypto," or "I didn't realize you could do that with crypto." So yeah, I put out a vote just before I went on holiday in October. For reference, I'm recording this at the beginning of December. I was going to make this video before I went on holiday, which was the last week of I went on holiday from the 22nd to the 29th of October. But I've had a cough. I still got the cough, but it's slightly better. So you might hear me clear my throat a little during the video, but I've said I'm going to make this video for a month and a half, basically. Well, actually, it's just basically a month, because I put out a vote, and the vote finished literally 2 or 3 days before I went on holiday, because I was planning on making the video and have it released the day I went on holiday. But I digress. The vote was Valk, Catalyst, or Vantage. I put the vote on YouTube community page and on Twitter. And yes, I will continue to call it Twitter. I don't care what Elon Musk renames it to. So keep an eye out on those platforms for where the vote is. Likelihood is going forward, if I do any more votes, it'll probably be on Twitter. And then there'll just be a link to it on the community page. So if you're subscribed, don't follow me on Twitter, you'll still be able to see that the vote is happening, and you can go over to Twitter, drop me a follow if you want to, and vote in the poll. But yeah, we put the poll out there, and Vantage won both of them, but she drew with Valk on Twitter and Catalyst on YouTube. So I came up with a scoring system that realistically doesn't really matter anymore, but it basically meant that Vantage had the most votes because Catalyst got votes on Twitter, so she gets points for Twitter. Valk didn't get any points on YouTube because she didn't get any votes. So Vantage and Valk both got 3, and Catalyst got 2 for Twitter, and then Catalyst and Vantage both got 2, 3 even for YouTube, but Valk got 0. So obviously Vantage has 6, Catalyst has 5, but Valk had 3. So we went from there, and again, it doesn't really matter now because I will be just doing it on one of the platforms and linking it to the other one. So hope you guys will get involved in the future ones. But today's video, as you can see, because she won the vote, is Vantage. Now, I have essentially 6 main legends that I play, right? The 6th one will always alternate. So up until recently it was Watson. Then recently when the meta shifted in comp a little bit and in ranked, I was playing a lot of Newcastle, so I'm playing him again. But since I'm not playing him in comp now, I've been learning Pathy because I think roller Pathy, it makes sense because, you know, I can crack somebody and then just grapple in and aim assist them. But yeah, part of the reason I like Vantage is that, and we'll get onto that when we cover her perks and ultimate like later on today. But without further ado, let's get on with the rest of the video. Alright then, as I was saying, I consider myself to have like I will say six. I have 5 main legends and then the 6th sort of like alternates, as I said. Of those, Vantage is my 2nd most amount of kills, maybe 3rd actually. Valk might have more. In fact, let's have a quick check before I confirm that.
Not done yet, Dad. Miss me, squad?
No. 26-35. And Vantage has
Another shot. I won't waste it.
26-67. So Vantage is still slightly ahead at the moment. My most kills legend is actually Catalyst, which is part of why those 3 were the options in the vote, is because they are my most killed legends, but then also I consider myself a Vantage main. In comp, my current main, and has been my main throughout most of my comp time, is Catalyst, and hence why I have the most amount of kills on her, because I was playing a lot of pubs and a lot of ranked on her during my time playing her in comp, to get obviously more used to her kit and better with her. Yeah, so, and then prior to that, prior to both of those 2 legends coming out, so season 9 onwards to, I think it was season 14 or 15 maybe when Vantage came out. Can't remember. No, it wasn't 15. Yeah, it was 14 and then Catalyst came out in 15. Because 15 is when we got Broken Moon. But yeah, so from season 9 up until season 14, I was in fact, actually, it was probably season 15 when I started playing Vantage as well. I was a Valk main. So, one thing, if you don't know, I do have alt accounts I play on when I'm playing with friends who are like lower ranks than me. And primarily what I'll use that for is I will play a legend I don't normally play. So if I have Alter, for example, unlocked on my alt account and I want to learn how to play Alter, I will play her consistently on that alt account until I feel confident enough to where I'm like, actually, you know what? I'm really good with this legend. I've been a player on my main account too. But yeah, let's get into Vantage, and let's first talk about her tactical. So, as we was up there by the Assassin's Creed Easter egg flag thing, I've never actually managed to get to work, so I don't know how long you have to wait or where you have to wait, whether it's on top of the actual flagpole or what. I'll probably try and do that at some point. You can see there, that is her tactical. Echo. Can I make Echo come down a bit? There we go. Alright, well, you can see, he is basically like the little bat thing. Alright. Everyone knows Echo. So, using Echo, obviously you saw I was ordering him around. That is just by tapping my tactical button. If I want to hold the tactical button, I will move towards him. You lose line of sight. So, me turning away there. You will no longer jump towards him. Now, it used to be that buildings also counted as line of sight, because obviously they're in your way, but they changed this at the beginning of season...
Moving.
Oh, okay, I might have bugged it. I have bugged it. That's because of this little lip here. Anyway, they changed this at the beginning of like season 22. When they buffed Vantage a little bit, and they made it so that the tactical only requires line of sight, you know, looking at, so that not being line of sight, yeah, because however it works if I turn, right? So it's all about the animation that Vantage does when she pulls her arm up to jump. So obviously you can see it's not ready. The yellow means that it's not ready. As you saw when I jumped, the blue, this light blue here, means that it's ready. And if I put Echo out there and I take the zip, you see it goes red. That's because
Echo's picked a sweet angle. Moving.
you're not supposed to be able to do that. I think it's because I was actually like coming off of the zip.
Zipline here.
But basically that counts, being on a zip line counts as line of sight. So one of the things that even though I was looking at Echo, it counts as no line of sight. Personally, I will never actually like use Echo where Echo is out like this, unless I'm making use of one of the perks, which we'll cover later, to do with the ult. And let's say my team is playing over here, and I'm like taking an off angle, I'm using my ult, and again, we'll cover this in the perk, and then I'm using Echo to get back to my team. Most of the time, I will just do this because it's much faster. One of the techie things, you just saw me do it there, is crouch. When you crouch, you bring up your weapons faster. So obviously that is very useful for when you are pushing people. Obviously I was pushing these 3 guys on the roof, and let's say I knocked one, I can use Echo, and then I can like attack a whole lot sooner. Like obviously it'd be easier if I like grab the weapon, show you, but there you go. I will always recall Echo as well, because Echo will stay persistently like in the world like this unless you move 55 meters away, and then he will start following you. And obviously if it's a case of like you've took a fight, you've lost the fight, your 2 teammates are down and you're trying to rat away, you don't want Echo out. So anytime you're trying to move, just remember to fall him back and boom, and do your shit. Again, if you are ratting, let's say the fight took place in this building and I'm ratting in this building and Echo is left out, yeah, if there's people who know about Vantage and how Echo works, they will see Echo and see him not moving and be like, okay, so Vantage is still close by. He's trying to rat for the banners, right? So, which is pointless really at this point anyway, because everybody can craft banners now in season 23. So yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I want to cover. Oh, with her tactical, again, we'll get on to why I'm using the Nessie in a moment for one of the perks later on. But her tactical,
Go get it.
when you throw it out, will be 40 meters. But when you throw it out and charge, like to go out, is 35. But if I grab a gold helmet real quick so that my tactical comes back sooner. You see it's 40 meters.
Getting a fresh angle.
And you see I landed basically on top of the Nessie. So honestly, you saw me go back to exactly where I was when I threw Echo out. There's this box. It just makes it easier to, you know, have a constant I'm standing in the same spot. You see that Echo is 40 meters away. Well, I didn't change his position. I throw it out. I think the 35 meters is like as you're going. Do you know what I mean? So you throw it out, it goes 35, but he goes to 40 by the time you get to him, and then you jump. And so it's not really, in my opinion, from my experience, I don't think it's actually like any different whatsoever. Again, we'll cover the perks later. And the reason we put the Nessie down will become apparent. So, I will always say again that the best way to use Echo is just to throw it out.
Current angle sucks. Switching it up.
Because yeah, I might have landed here, but you know, I still got close to my target, and I'm crouching out of Echo, which is a technique with Vantage Q to make her pull out her weapons faster, as I said earlier. Because I played so much Vantage, this is something that throws me off whenever I'm using like Rev Pounce. When I'm trying to Rev Pounce, I try to like crouch out of it to pull my weapons out faster, and obviously that doesn't work like that. So it is something that I've gotten so used to doing now on Vantage that for me it bleeds over into other legends that I have similar abilities. So do bear that in mind. If you want to like move Echo about, or like literally you just finished a fight and you want to recall him, like that, you can do this whilst you are shooting, whilst you are reloading, whilst you are healing, but not while you are reviving. I'm trying to remember whether I can do it when I'm being revived or when I'm down on the floor. Pretty sure I can, but I can't remember. Again, most of the time, for me personally, when I'm using Echo, I'm crouching out of it and I'm calling him back straight away. Just that force a habit. It becomes second nature once you get it down, and yeah, Vantage is very fun, in my opinion, for mostly Echo. But another thing that she's quite fun for, that we'll get onto in a second, is her passive. Alright, now we'll so, onto her passive. Her passive is... does it say in here? Yeah, Spotter's Lens. So, this has since been changed as well as part of those buffs that I talked about earlier when I was on about tactical. It is no longer mid to long range, it is all scopes. So, I just get a P20 and a 1X. Alright, you can see. However, different scopes have
Need a new angle on this.
I don't need this one because her passive like this is a 3x. So you can see I can scan that guy and that guy. But if I put the dummies on far, where is it? Where is it? On far. Very far, actually. Alright, you see I can scan that guy at 150 and that guy at 178 and that guy at 134. However, I can scan that guy at 56 with a 1x. But not that guy. With the 2x, I can scan that guy. And I can scan that guy. But I can't scan that guy. But if I had a 3x, which is what a passive is, I could scan that guy. Alright. Oh, obviously there's a 4x, 3x even, start with, and then you go to an 8x. So we'll get onto our ult more in a moment, but as you can see, it's a sniper. So we have some bot royale gameplay. I'm going to show you in a second, explaining more about her passive. But as you can see there, it gives me the range that they are. It gives me the name of what it is. So if that was a legend, it will say Bangalore, say Bloodhound, it will say Caustic. Whatever legend it is, it'll say there. And then inside the little box thing, you also see their armor level and how many people are alive on their team. Again, we'll show that in a second with regards to the bot royale gameplay. This makes her a hard counter to Mirage, because anytime you're looking with this passive at a decoy clone, it will say decoy, so you know not to shoot it. Alright. When they buffed Vantage in season 22, if you ping them,
Zipline here.
okay, that doesn't work. If you ping them, there's now a new ping that stays on them and tracks them for 10 seconds. So that is something to bear in mind, to use to, you know, help with your teammates. I just hit this guy
Hey, spotted.
with my ult and he's down by 100, argument's sake. Then your teammates can track that and know where he is and follow and try and finish it off. As you can see here, it will always prioritize the one that's like closest to the center, but it will only show one set of details. So if you've got two teams like fighting at that range like that, you'll only be able to see both teams' details if you switch between them. But yeah, we'll show you the bot royale gameplay and then we'll be back and we can discuss what we'll discuss what you saw, right? Okay then, we're here in a bot royale. As you can see, these guys have blue shields and there's a full 3-man. If you don't know what bot royale is, basically everybody in the game is a bot, as you can see.
Getting shot. Chucking a crack grenade. Recharging shields. Praise shield. Thermite out.
So now if I look at these guys, you can see there's only 2 of them. This is just the information that
Down to mark.
Vantage's passive can provide.
Reloading.
Now obviously, if you know you've killed off of one team and you like look at another team and see more than
Time to upgrade. A hunter takes every advantage she can. Got my upgrade. Time to use it. Firing. Took down some prey.
Okay. Let's kill these guys and then I'll
10 seconds, but the ring
tell you guys what I was trying to tell you. Okay, we're now just getting pushed by every bot in the lobby, apparently.
They're hitting me. Opening fire on our prey. Prey tag. Take it down. I cracked the target shield. Took down some prey. Reloading. Taking fire. Back another of my prey. Reloading.
Right. Now can I fucking talk?
Die when I don't need you.
So yeah, as you can see, everybody in the lobby is a bot,
Recharging shields.
and
Great team, people.
saw in the passive how it gave me the information of them having 3 people on their team with
Taking shields.
the shields that they have. So yeah, I'll see you back in the firing range.
We're already inside.
Alright, and so we're back from the bot royale gameplay, and as you saw there, you can see information about how many teams are alive, the team members are alive. You can see what level their armors are. We had a bit of a crazy moment there where we was near Mill, and we got like 3 or 4 teams all converged there. Bot royale. If you haven't used it, it's a great way for newer players to get used to the game and not have to deal with pretty people. But it's also a great way for people who don't play certain legends to try out those legends once they've unlocked them in Bot Royale, right? So if you've just unlocked Vantage, you've come to see this video, and you're like, oh, I'm going to test out some of the things that Trep's covered. I want to play a Bot Royale just to make sure I've got it down. That's a great way to do it. You can keep practicing the movement with Vantage. You in there, you can keep practicing passive in there. Another thing that we didn't cover before we went to the Bot Royale gameplay is part of her passive. I switch to a sniper real quick. Is see this little like circle thing? Yeah. In the scope. I go up here. And then look over here. To this guy. Oh no, that doesn't work. This guy. You see how it drops down? Because it registers the dummy. But if I'm view other dummies, it'll move again. This is where your bullet's gonna land. So providing you have the timing down, which I apparently do not today. There you go. You can actually like. Is there no? There's no dummies up on the mountain. Okay. There's one way over there. You see, that's like 270 meters, right? Now, most of the sniper scopes, as you can see on the side, they will tell you, alright, that is 270 meters away. So even on other legends, you can use sniper scopes and be perfectly fine. However, with Vantage, because I know it's 270 meters to this guy, I can aim just above, and even though I've got my passive, which is the little circle thing that shows me, I can use the notches on the sniper scope anyway to see. You see that doesn't register because it's 4x, but 8x does. So we just do that, and then, oh, okay. No, I messed that one up. But you get the point. There's a bullet drop indicator. Okay. On the Vantage snipe. And if you know you like timings, you can just hit them. I recently changed sense, by the way, which is why in 8x I'm like moving crazy and not as comfortable at the moment. I need to get used to it. But yeah, that's basically everything to do with her passive. Big information gather. The amount of times I've used Vantage in random royales and given all of this information using my passive to teammates that I've played with in a random royale, and they're like, "Oh my god, I didn't realize Vantage was so good," is insane. They always ask me, "Why do you think she's not played at like a professional level?" And I will simply say, because after a certain period of the zone closing in comp, her sniper is useless, right? Because I can't just see. I have to basically be like bang on top of them to do anything with it.
Take Echo.
So that's one thing I'll say. And also, if I go to third person view, she is on a bit of the bigger side when you compare her to other legends such as like Wraith. Hell, if we compare her to her own class, Thea is smaller. Valk's about the same size but slightly smaller. Crypto is smaller. Bloodhound's about the same size but slightly smaller. Vantage is probably the biggest legend that isn't Revenant or Pathy that doesn't have Fortified. Obviously, Caustic,
Got an
Newcastle,
upgrade waiting.
and
Time to pull the trigger.
Gibby all have Fortified. But yeah, I'm going to reset the legend upgrades real quick, because now we're going to move on to her ult. So now onto her ult. I
Missing over here.
already obviously like showed you some things that it does. You see here, there's this blue laser. Enemies will see that as like an orange laser. Pretty sure it's not affected by colorblind settings, so enemies will always see that. You can only see this in the fire range if you have an enemy, you know, a friend in here to go show you basically, or if you put third person on, which it just bugs out as you saw there. But yeah, that will show enemies where you are, so you have to be very careful. You can play around with it, so like if they're playing, you know, this building, you can sort of like peek over but not show your laser, because by that point if you're aiming in here, you obviously just look at this, but you can still see. So then when they like peek out that door, you can pop them. It gains 1 round for every, like, pretty much 20%. Not 20% anymore. It used to be when she had 5 shots, but now she has 6. So, quick math, it's, you know, something like 17% or something like that. If I'm thinking about it correctly. As long as there is 1 round in the gun, as you can see, I have 5 right now. I just shot 1. You can pull out her sniper and shoot it. It takes about 40 seconds to gain 1 round when you don't have a gold helmet, which is about 2.5% per second. And means that if you're waiting for the entire ult to come back, and you don't use ult excels or have a gold helmet, it will take 4 minutes overall. We already said about the laser being orange for enemies and blue for teammates, and that it can expose your position. You can also use it for applying pressure. Imagine you've got a team that is like crossing this open space here into this building, and you have just tapped, and imagine I didn't miss that one. Tap and tapped again, and they're one shot, they get into the building. They are less likely to peek you from this door if your laser is just looking at the door or at the window, if you haven't missed any shots, because they're like, okay, that Vantage is very good with her ult. We see the laser, we're not peeking it. Again, you can play this to your advantage because you can make them believe that you've moved on or you're not using your ult anymore. And look at the ground, like hide your laser. There's another tactic that ramparts use. Or like hide behind a box with the shield like aimed in, or not even aimed in, but like looking around, and then they'll just zzz, boom, and fire a shit ton of bullets at you. But yeah, that's pretty much her ult. Like, you used to do 50 then 100, so it was a flat like double damage, but now it does 125, as you just saw there. It does 70 to the head, and then when it's
I love it. Better upgrade now.
okay, I just fucked that apparently. And then when it's like charged, it's like 175 or something. It's insane. It depends on the level of the helmet, obviously, but yeah. So without further ado, let's get into the perks. All right then, a bit of a jump cut to me grabbing the Evo cache, so we're purple, and then we'll cover the perks real quick. So I will personally only take ring console if I don't have a ring console character on my team. If I do and it's a random, I might take it if they haven't helped us get to blue by using the console. Obviously it's 200, it's a big chunk of that 450 from white to blue. So yeah, a lot of the time if I have a random teammate and they're our console character, but don't actually scan the console, then I will take this perk.
What? Am I saving this up for
When you're flying into a ranked game, for example, on the map, you can see who has console and stuff, because it is an option, even if you take this perk. But this perk is very, very good. As you can see, it says grants 2 extra bullets. Well, when you use an Alt XL, it gives you 2 bullets. Alright. But when you use it and you've got the perk, it gives you 4. I'm going to use all my bullets real quick. And you see...
Time to hunt, little guy. Over here. Follow me.
You see when I use the Alt XL, it's like...
Right here.
It's like 7 seconds, like every other legend. Well, when I pick the perk...
Okay, picked an upgrade. Good work waiting, Echo.
It's now...
Am I saving this upgrade for winter?
4 seconds, so it's miles faster. And again, it gives me 4 bullets. So it's just... If you have somebody who can take this, it is much better to have ultimate reload on Vantage. Or if you're playing with Pathy, and Pathy is going to take... like if I go to Pathy's perks, and you can see he's going to take Survey Beacon. Obviously, Vantage already has Survey Beacon. So realistically, Pathy shouldn't, but it does allow him to get his zip a whole lot more. So I can understand why Pathy players will take Survey Beacon. In that case, I will just take Ring Console because then
Time to
I'm
upgrade.
not.
Hunter takes every advantage she can.
I'm like trading perks, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? If I take Alt Excel perk and he takes this, then this is just a waste of a perk. However, it does, as part of his passive, give him his grapple, his zipline gun cooldown in a shorter period. See? Permanently reduces its cooldown by 15%. Recharges the zipline gun by 50%. So if you have 50 and you scan a Ring Console or Survey Beacon. So you can basically, in some cases, you can zip from a Survey Beacon to a balloon, fly to another Survey Beacon.
Got an upgrade waiting. Time to pull the
Obviously,
trigger.
before you take the zip, you can scan the Survey Beacon. Take the zip, fly from the evac balloon to another Survey Beacon, scan that, and you've got your zip back again. So it allows for some massive rotations. So I understand why Pathies do it. But legends like Fuse, who also have Ring Console perk, realistically, you shouldn't be firing your ult on yourself. So, although I think this works on ults from other fuses as well, a Fuse should take Ringmaster in my opinion. Same with Alter. You only have to hit a bullet now to get the health bars. So, take Ring Console. In my opinion, again. But Vantage should
Got an upgrade waiting.
again take Alt XL perk if she has a console legend on her team or one of those teams. One of those legends that I said should take Ring Console for over. Or if there's a Pathy who you're not communicating with. So like if I'm playing with Acoustic and Day and Acoustic's on Pathy, then I might say, right, you take Ring Console. And then I'll take this perk. Right? So personally I think back bounce is useless. And I'll show you why. Let's go over here. I'm gonna have to reset my thingy by switching legend in a moment. Let's
This upgrade's gonna make
pick
killing
this.
everyone
So we go back to our trusty test. Back to the box. We'll throw Echo out.
Moving to Echo for a better angle.
And guess what? You just improved it by like 6 or 7 meters. To me, that is useless. Again, remember we were using the Nessie to mark where we landed. Especially since, personally, for me, as I said, I will often
Need a new angle
crouch
on this.
out of a tactical rather than do a double jump. Let's switch legend real quick. And go back. So
Wind. Okay.
personally, I will always take refresh on tack hits because you can just, you know, okay, I've used this to get into a position.
Moving there.
I'm now shooting at a team. I've tapped the team. Okay, now I've knocked one of the team. I can help my teammates push. Right? So, some of the techie things we already covered. That is, so there are my, like, perk recommendations. These two are a bit of a toss-up, depending on what you have on your team. Because I personally like having this as team Evo. But this is a lot of solo Evo. You can, you know, use your ult a lot more. So, think about it like that, in my opinion. And definitely use that if you have a controller legend in your team that can hit Ring Console. in my opinion. Unless they give you a reason otherwise. So the other thing is, you see 21. Okay, I just thought that. See 21 with a P20, right? If I tap, it's 24 now. With the Sentinel, it's 80. So always coordinate.
Over here.
If you've
Follow
got
me.
teammates that are using marksmans or snipers, always coordinate the 3-2-1 on the Vantage ult, because Vantage ult can make Kraber a one-shot body shot again. Okay, that's the techie thing about her ult. It is a damage boost. Most people do not realize that and just think that it's a marker. But no, that is why her ult does
Let's move.
50 and then 125. So the second shot is still doing 50, but it's multiplied. It's like 2.25, I think, or something like that. Damage boost. As I said, with the tactical, I will 90% of the time crouch out of it, because you can pull your guns up faster. There is a techie thing that is more effective if you use back bounce to do with her tactical. Let me just tap this guy once, so we get it back. Which is that you can basically fly to Echo, call him back, and then as you call him back, jump, and you'll keep your momentum forward. I will use this quite often when I'm trying to like escape from people. It's because it allows you to go that little bit further. But obviously it's even further with the improved double jump. So that is the one case use I would say with back bounce. But personally, back bounce is useless in my opinion, and I wish they would give us another perk there instead. One of the things that I thought about is giving us Watson's passive, where you can double stack ultimate accelerants, because then you would have to pick between a thing that uses your ultimate to refresh your attack, or something that allows you more bag space by carrying more ultimate accelerants in one slot, which I think would be quite good. And you could basically choose a ult excel perk path, right? Because you could have this one and then the one where it stacks to, if that was a case. But that's just a personal preference, because I don't like back bounce and I don't think it's a useful perk in the slightest. Anyone who's playing Vantage should be, in my opinion, taking Sharpshooter, just purely because it allows you to play the play style that Vantage wants to play a whole lot more, which is you are providing cover fire for your teammates whilst you are like pushing up,
Pick up your feet. Let's go here.
and you can like get a different angle. Okay, now I can help my teammates push,
Echo's got an angle. Move
and
there.
yeah, voila. Trying to remember whether I've covered everything. I think I've covered everything I wanted to cover. Vantage, I think, is, as I said earlier, is a very overlooked legend. She's quite fun in the fact that she has some movement. She can put out a shit ton of damage with her ult, right? In this current meta with supports, she's not that great because the shields do get in the way. But obviously with a coordinated team, if I tap somebody and then they tap them with a sniper or a Kraber, that team is going to be one down. The question is then, though, if you are close enough to capitalize on it, which in the support meta, most of the time you aren't. So part of the reason she's not as good right now. She is on, as I said earlier, she is a big target, hitbox wise. So I think that's partly why she's not used as much in a higher level of play, except by certain people, you know, like G Dolphin, for example. But even then, G Dolphin will play Rampart instead of Vantage in any comp tournaments that he does, because Rampart is just more useful for the whole team than Vantage is. Also, again, her ult is useless essentially after like ring 4. Obviously, you can try and like quick scope with it, or you know, if you're like hiding behind a rock, you could try and like peek out, and then obviously I'm out of bullets, but you know, kind of like you would with a sniper if you were still using a sniper into the end game, because you couldn't swap gun. You just peek out and you know, deal damage. But yeah, so it depends. I personally think her ult, even if you take the damage boost off of it when you're hip firing, it should be given shatter caps. So if I go to the bow, you see how it has shatter caps, hip fire blast pattern, right? It basically fires like a mini shotgun. Yeah, if I fire it at the wall, I don't think I don't have impact marks on, do I? No. But yeah, you see how it basically fires in like
Survival's looking good.
a few shots, whereas if I was just a fire, it's only one. And it does reduce damage, right? It depends on how many of your shots hit. So if you're just like spamming, so obviously a full whack just then you've seen it hits 84. That's more, but that's because more is hitting. But if I just like, see, it's highly dependent on you actually like getting the hip fire right. So I personally think, even if it's where it doesn't do this anymore, when you hit firing it, if you give it shatter caps, where you can just tap, even if you don't get the charge mechanic that the bow gets, right, to give it more damage, and it just flat like 42 damage. Oh, I would be happy. It would make it more useful in the end game scenario. Personally. Okay. I apologize for any points in the video where you've heard me cough. Just then. Again, it's getting better, but it's not completely gone. So I apologize. I did try and mute my mic, and will try in the editing to cut out coughs if I can. So hopefully you won't hear too many of them. But obviously, if it's going to affect the continuity of the video, I will not have cut them out. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this guide. Again, I think I've covered everything I want to cover with regards to Vantage. Obviously, there's a bunch of things like, what the fuck was that? Somebody called in an ult in their fire range. There's a couple of things like, obviously, the laser thing I covered when we were on about the ult. You can use that as a counter. You can know where the Vantage is, and you can flush her out, a sniper, or whatever you want to do. We also covered how Echo being out like this is counterable, because they know that you're still in the area, because it's a 55-meter range before Echo will start following you. This is also quite detrimental, because if you're trying to run away, go and craft your teammates, and Echo's following you, and you're basically giving them Bloodhound footsteps without giving them Bloodhound footsteps,
We'll never see it coming.
because they don't have a Bloodhound, for example. Even if they don't have a Bloodhound, for example. Because they can just follow Echo. It also is quite dangerous to be like ratting and then ball it, because he comes back in. Which is why I will always say, also that's something you can get around the, okay, I missed it. You see how I got around the zip lines, block line of sight there? You have to drop off the zip line. I will do that sometimes. But yeah, I will always recall Echo, as I said. So whether you're using this to learn to play Vantage, or you're using it to learn how to counter her because you're experiencing a Vantage like meta in the future, I appreciate you for watching. Please give it a like and leave a comment if there's any other questions you have. If there's anything in this video you was like, oh shit, didn't realize that about Vantage, again, comment it down below. And any comments that is like asking a question, or again saying, oh, I didn't realize that about Vantage, I will do my best to sort of like answer and be like, oh yeah, this is the answer to your question, or yeah, this has been a thing since he was released, or yeah, this has been a thing since season 22 when she got buffed, or whatever. You know what I mean? So again, hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Please leave it a like and comment if you see fit, and yeah, we'll see you on the next one. Peace.